Oh no. Okay, here we go. All right, guys, welcome to the Meet Damien live stream. Sorry about that. Um, yeah, we're looking at Bitcoin retesting 100K. We're back down to 100K, about to lose 100K here soon. And we got some levels to look for here again. If Bitcoin's going to decide to go down to lower prices here on us, where we might be able to get some cheaper Bitcoin, if we're inclined to do so. So yeah, let's get into the charts here. Let's look at the daily time frame. Look at the daily time frame. I have a Fibonacci that I drew from $126,000 Bitcoin down to like the 74K area, which is where Bitcoin was at back here in April, earlier this year. And it gives us some levels to look out for here. We're actually at the 0.5 retracement. That level right there at $100,400. Is the level that you would think needs to be defended here. I have looked at other levels, looking at the VRVP indicator, and we'll turn that one on very soon here. But just looking at the Fibonacci, just sticking to the Fibonacci, if we lose the 100K area, then there is a 0.382 level that the Fibonacci traders are looking at, and that is sitting at $94,000 Bitcoin. That could be another area where we would expect Bitcoin to get a reaction or a bounce off of if we lose this 100K area. This 94K area is also confluent with what we were trading at back here in April of 2025 when Bitcoin was trading at like $95,000. So that's an area that I'm looking for as a possible support zone. But right now I am bearish on Bitcoin because we are below this 200-day moving average. This red line here is showing that over the last 200 days, Bitcoin can't even stay above the average of the last 200 days. We lost that because it's not able to stay above the average. I have to be bearish on Bitcoin. All right, I have to consider selling some of my spot bags before things get a lot more worse over here. Okay, right now that 200-day moving average is at 110,100. We need to get above 110,100 for me to become bullish again on Bitcoin, because that's the least you could do, is just get above the last 200 days, get above the average. And then you could be, cautiously optimistic at that point. But I really wouldn't get extremely bullish on Bitcoin again until we get up to at least, well, I'm going to say the 786 level here at 115K. But, we got to get above this last high here at 116,400 like we saw here in the end of October 27th. That would put us above the 50-day moving average as well. That would be very nice to see, but we're not getting that right now. Bitcoin is still getting sold off here, but it's not just Bitcoin, it's also the stock market's getting sold off. I think there's a lot of fears and a lot of anxiousness over the government still being shut down here in the United States of America. It's causing people to wonder what the future might be, how much damage this is going to cause the economy at some point, because there are people who are missing out on paying their rent, their bills. They're missing out on paying food for groceries and stuff like that. That affects the supermarkets. That affects landlords around the country that are collecting rent. It affects mortgages and banks at some point. It is going to cause some damage, and we just don't know how much damage is going to be caused. But all we know is the longer it goes on, the more damage is going to be done by the government shutdown here. So I think that is what's causing some people to be a little bit anxious about putting their money to work in crypto and putting their money into work for in the stock market. But yeah, let's get back into Bitcoin here. I did identify that 94K could be an area that we need to look for if Bitcoin's going to lose 100K here. If I turn on the VRVP indicator, you'll see, as I gathered some data here on the VRVP indicator, this green and red bar indicator to the right here, there is a POC that is a high volume node right above us at 104K. Believe it or not, that is where most people bought Bitcoin, was at 104K. But if we start losing 104K, 103, we're at $101,000. We're actually in the kind of like a no man's land on the VRVP indicator. There's a gap over here, and there's not another high volume node like 104K until we get down to this high volume node here at 96K, and then a little bit over here at 94K. So there you go. There's 94K showing up again on the VRVP indicator, and it's also showing up on the Fibonacci and it's also showing up here on previous price action where people were buying and selling Bitcoin at 94K back in April. Okay, so all roads keep pointing towards 94K as the next level that you would think we would get some reaction off of Bitcoin for us to bounce off, hopefully, and get out of this this downturn that we're in. But yeah, Bitcoin is in a downturn, guys. I think it's pretty obvious right now that we've been in a bit downturn, and this is no bueno. This is, you know, the high, the all-time high, okay, which was at that, you know, when we look at it back then, was considered a double top because we weren't that pretty much higher than what we did here in August at 124K. You know, when Bitcoin went to 126K on October 6th, that was only a couple of $1,000s higher than August of 124K. And since then, we've been making lower high, lower low. At some point, you know, we got to see if we can make a higher high here, but it looks like it's going to end up being another lower high, and then what, another lower low that takes us down to 94K. I'm a little bit concerned with Bitcoin at this level. We're not getting that V-shaped recovery that I want to see to take us up to higher prices here. There's a lot of people are gun shy about buying Bitcoin right now, or at least that's what I'm seeing on the charts right now. And the longer we go sideways, the more it looks like a bear flag than anything else here. And then that means that we probably have to go down to lower prices to generate more demand for Bitcoin. Let me get into the chat here. I'm going to try to be a little bit better on the YouTube chat. I missed a couple of requests on YouTube. Let's see. We got Dave P in the chat. Good to see you, Dave P. And we got Laureen is in the chat as well. Good to see you, Laureen. You said that your phone is acting up and getting thrown out of... Alright. What's XP means on... I'm not familiar with all with what lies on here. Laureen, are you talking about like video games right now? With XP and lives and stuff like that? That's something that sounds like video game talk right there. Let's see. Going into TikTok. Let's see what you guys saying here on TikTok. Laureen, you got kicked out of YouTube? Really? Well, that's crazy. So you're here on TikTok now. All right. And let's see what else we got here. We got Laureen asking about ICP. I guess we could take a look at ICP as well in the first request here. No XP on YouTube. That's I don't know. I know Lorraine, you're from Ireland, and maybe they do things differently in Ireland as far as YouTube goes, but there's no, we don't do anything as far as like XP or experience points in America over here on YouTube. That's new to me. I never heard of that before. But anyways, we'll go ahead and take a look at ICP for you. I see Cameron's in the chat. Good to see you, Cameron. Let me know if there's any requests you want me to take a look at. We're now about to take requests. We just looked at Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin could head to 94K if it's going to continue on this downturn here. And that's mainly because of what I see with the VRVP and also with the Fibonacci here at 94K. And then also previous price action is at 94K as well. But yeah, there's that high volume node here on the VRVP indicator showing that 94K could be next here. Oh, there's an XP ranking based on chat, and it's from YouTube. That's interesting. That's new to me. Oh, I can see that right now. Yeah, I see XP. Yeah, I gotta go get myself more familiar with that XP stuff here on YouTube. Shafi wants to take a look at Ethereum. So let me start writing these things down. We gotta look at ICP first, and then we'll look at Ethereum. Alright, I'll take a look at that on Discord, Laureen. Alright. And yeah, I think that's it for now. ICP and Ethereum. Let's do it! Alright. Let me get rid of the VRBP indicator for now. We're going to take a look at ICP, which was high-flying crypto over the last 3 days. Is it still flying high today? Let's take a look. ICP up 16% today. Currently trading at $6.93. Finally catching the bids. Let's start to zoom in here. ICP on the daily chart. Looks like you already hit the 1272 fib extension at 662. And are you going to climb up and actually hit that 1618 at 770? That would be the next target here for ICP. Just using my previous Fibonacci analysis here. I think that's the upside target that we're looking for here. ICP is just continuing to be bullish here. Let's see. Above the 200-day moving average. I'm glad to see that. Unlike Bitcoin, unlike Solana, and Ethereum and XRP and all those other coins, ICP is actually above its 200-day moving average. Let's look at the oscillators here, see if this thing can continue going up. We have green money flow going into ICP, and momentum is still climbing to the upside. And you have a green buy dot that came in on Saturday, November 1st. I think you're still good to go up to higher prices, believe it or not, on ICP. Until you finally see a red dot show up on the market cipher B indicator. Right now you got the green light for higher prices here. Okay, but when you see that red dot show up, I would take profit and maybe consider a short if you're scalping it. Let's see. Let's look at the MACD here real quick. MACD is showing money flow. Well, buying pressure is increasing here on the MACD, and it's still steadily increasing. Could you get another green candle going into tomorrow and the next day? Well, you need to if you're going to continue being bullish here on ICP, but everything's looking fine for now. Okay, at least on the MACD. And then, of course, the RSI, you are overbought, but the thing about being overbought on the RSI is you can stay overbought, okay, until profit takers start taking profit, okay? But yeah, you are overbought, so you are coming towards the end of this bull run, you would think. But yeah, let's see how much higher could you go. We said the 1618 is 770, but could this thing hit the 2618 at 1070? That'd be interesting. Let's look at some previous price action. Going back in history here on ICP. ICP was trading at like $8 back here in October of 2024. Anybody that bought about a year ago, they're now, well, if we get up to $8, they're going to be back to break even. You would expect someone to maybe click the sell button when we get to $8 here on ICP. Then going forward, if we get past $8, there is a little bit of sideways trading action here at like $10.40. You would expect someone that click the sell button and try to break even at 1040 if we get up to that level there. So yeah, I think 1040, 1070 could be another target if you're if ICP is going to continue being bullish and it gets past 770 here. I think 1070 is a possibility for ICP for upside targets here. Now, I guess I should probably try to create somewhat of a bearish case here if ICP starts selling off on you. You could come and revisit the 2-day moving average sitting at 489, which is also confluent with the golden pocket here. You get the 100-day and the 200-day moving average kind of sitting around in that golden pocket at 468 and 478 here. I think that's your downside target, where you could probably get some cheaper ICP. And maybe it bounces off that level and then creates a higher low to go to higher prices. But that is the level to look for if you're trying to buy some cheaper ICP here. All right, moving on from ICP, we're going to move on to Ethereum, and then I'll try to get back into the chat, see what you guys are saying here in the chat here. Ethereum currently trading at $3,275, down 4% today. Ethereum was looking like one of the stronger high market cap crypto coins out there, only because it, yesterday it got above its 2-day moving average. 2-day moving average was sitting at 3380, and Ethereum was like, it closed the day, at 3423, which was above the 2-day moving average. And all you needed to do was just have another green candle, but you're not getting that right now. You're getting a red candle. So we're flirting with the 2-day moving average. Flirting with danger. You're up against this 0.32 retracement at $3,200. If this level gets lost, there's a possibility that $2,700, $2,800 this 0.236 level at 27.87 could be a level where Ethereum could get a reaction based off the Fibonacci here. Let's see, 27.87 was acting as resistance back here in June. Okay. 2800 was a tough level to crack for Ethereum until I actually cracked through it in July here. Maybe you would think the people that bought here in May, they're still in profit right now. But if Ethereum does come down to these prices at like 25, 26, 27, $2,800, somewhere in this zone, these are the people that are gonna hold on to Ethereum and not click the sell button unless Ethereum goes lower than 2,300 bucks here. We lose 2,300 bucks, and then these people start giving up on hope of Ethereum going up to higher prices, and then they're gonna click the sell button on you as well. Okay. So if we don't hold where we're at right now on Ethereum, especially staying above that psychological target of $3,000, then yeah, we're gonna probably come right down to 27, 2,800 bucks, and maybe even dip down to like 25, 2,400 bucks, which is where you got your support level here from the previous price action back in June. If Ethereum actually starts catching bids, which would be nice to see, you got some moving average resistance above you. The 100-day is sitting at 3,700, and the 50-day sitting at 4182. And that's like smack dab in between this golden pocket here. I would expect the golden pocket to get a reaction at some point. If we do get up there, we might go sideways for a little bit before we go up to higher prices. But I think $3,800, $3,900 is an area where some people are going to start offloading their Ethereum, because we just don't know if Ethereum's going to get back at the $4,000 at this point. If it doesn't get back at the $4,000, then 38, 39 sounds good enough if we're going to enter into a bear market and continue going lower on here on Ethereum. This might be your last chance to sell Ethereum at higher prices. Alright, Cameron says people make sure to add alerts for those prices there. Those Fibonacci, I'm giving you the TA here, guys. These are some targets to look for on the downside, as well as targets to look for on the upside. And then, of course, I mean, you can just look at the chart if you're not using moving averages or anything, but yeah, you got previous price action hanging out at $3,800. You would expect that to just be a resistance zone as you try to climb back up to higher prices here. All right. Let's see. What is Dave P saying here? You want to take a look at low cap AI play called Sapien? And you're not trading it, you're just holding it. Okay, we'll take a look at the Sapien. Alright. We'll take a look at the Sapien after Ethereum here. Okay, we got like 2,200 likes here on TikTok. Let's see if we can get up to 3,000 likes here on TikTok. If you guys just double tap that screen, appreciate that. Sending the likes. Let's TikTok know that we have a good stream going on here. So let me go ahead and write this down. We're going to take a look at Sapien. And if you guys got more requests, let me know. If not, we'll just go through some cryptocurrencies that I want to take a look at. Alright, Sapien. Oh my god, wow, okay. I can see why you want to hold on to Sapien right now. Sapien is up 260%. Trading at 44 cents, 44.5 cents. Look at this green god candle here. Getting higher than the previous high here on September 14th. Where we saw this thing as high as like 36 cents. Is there, I mean, I want to see if there's another chart that has more data. Is this thing brand spanking new? This thing came out in August 20th. Let me see if I can find another chart for Sapien here. Nope, it's really that brand spanking new here. Okay, I'll go back to looking at this on Mexi. Sapien USDT. Okay, let me turn the moving averages, see what this looks like. Oh, I turned the VRVP by accident, but okay, we'll leave the VRVP on as well. I don't really have much for moving averages besides this 21 EMA. 21 EMA is sitting at 13 cents. We'll probably have to go into smaller time frames to see what the moving averages are doing. Let's see what the 4-hour time frame's looking like. Clearly above all the moving averages here. The 21 EMA on the 4-hour time frame is sitting at like 17, 19 cents. I'm sorry, 0.179 pennies here. So this thing is... Alright, let's look at the oscillators now. RSI clearly overbought here on the 4-hour time frame at 83. MACD buying pressure is in and increasing still. And then let's see on the on the market cipher B indicator, green buy dot came in last night around 11 p.m. Eastern time, and you don't have a red dot yet. Momentum is going up to the upside. You got money flow flowing into this asset here. I think you're still good for higher prices until you see a red dot showing up here on market cipher B. I wouldn't really be interested in shorting it until you see a red dot show up. Let me look at the 1-hour time frame real quick. 1-hour time frame. Do you have a red dot showing up? Oh, you actually do have a red dot showing up on the 1-hour time frame. So maybe, you know, and this can be finicky because you get like a red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot, right? But you do have a red dot right now, saying that there might be some profit taking going on in the next hour or two. You'll have to see if this thing still stays, you know, you're going to have to see if the momentum wave starts curving down. If the momentum wave starts curving down, then maybe it's time to get out of this asset and maybe put in a short. I know you said you're going to hold on to it. Maybe you might be interested in doing a day trade where you can short it at this price point that we're at right now. But yeah, momentum is... You know, you're just waiting for some more data here, but if that momentum wave starts curving down, and if the money flow starts curving down as well, then you know that, you know, the top is in for today. At least you can identify that you have topped out. And literally, this thing did say top right here with the emojis, you know, the bang symbol here showing a top here, possible top here for Sapien. But yeah, you know, let me throw on the VRVP indicator here to see what the VRVP has to say as I scroll out into the daily time frame. So the VRVP indicator, I'm not sure how useful it can be because this thing is saying that everybody that bought this asset has bought it at lower prices for the most part. You got a blue line here. The majority of people bought this at 16 cents, so they're all in profit right now. Okay, and then you're above the value area high. The value area high is sitting at 24 cents. You know, everybody that's in this asset is in profit except for the person that bought at the top today. So this thing could come down just as fast as it went up. Just keep that in mind as well. But what a nice green candle to get things started here for Sapien. Like I said, I mean, the only thing I can do is I could draw a Fibonacci on this, and if I do, it might give you an idea as like where this thing could pull back down to. If this is going to end up being the high for today, you know, 57 cents. And let's just take a look at how far low we could go. Typically, you would get a pullback down to the 618, and I think we already did do that, down to 40 cents here. Let's go into the 1-hour time frame. Yeah, you already came down to 39 cents around 11 a.m. Eastern time here. Where's my Fibonacci? Let's try to bring this thing closer. So yeah, Fibonacci, you know, has already got hit at 618. If it was to go any lower, then you got a 0.5 level here below you at 34 cents and a 0.382 level here at 29 cents. Those are some other targets to look for to the downside to scoop up some cheaper Sapien if you want to add to your position here. All right. We got Shafi asking about Pendle. Let's go ahead and I'll write that down. Pendle as a next request maybe. And is that a request for gold? Gold is selling off. You would think gold would actually do pretty well with the government being shut down and fear in the markets here. If gold is being sold off and stock markets being sold off and crypto being sold off, then that leads me to believe that there's a liquidity crisis going around the world right now, where some people are forced to sell their profitable positions just to take care of their margin calls. Is oil down as well? Let me just take a look at the price of oil. If gold is down and oil's down and stock market down, then that means the whole market is in crisis mode right now. Where's my oil? Okay, I'm trying to see. I usually keep it on my watch list. There it is. All right, yeah, oil is down too. Oil is down at trading at $59 a barrel right now. So like nobody is winning today. Don't feel bad about losing your money because everybody is losing their money right now. It's not just you. There's a crisis in liquidity at this moment. All right, we'll take a look at Pendle, and then we'll take a look at gold here. Everybody is fleeing to the dollar right now. All right, Pendle. Let's go into the daily time frame around Pendle. Oh my God, Pendle! You basically did a round trip. You know, you visited the prices here at $6.27 around August, and now you basically back to the same price that you started at in March of this year. We're currently trading at $2.58. You're near the lows for the year. Could this be a possible double bottom? I mean, how much lower could you go? We don't really have much data here, at least not on Coinbase Exchange. You got as low as like 237 back here in April. And then here in October, you got as low as 245. You got some moving averages showing up here. The 200-day moving average is above you. If you were to climb to higher prices, that 200-day moving average is probably a good target to take profit at $4.16 here. However, looks like the 21 EMA, this white line, has been acting as resistance in the short term here. If you were to climb back at the higher prices, I would expect you to have a tough time getting past 307 right now. That's your 21 EMA acting as resistance back here in late October. Could act as resistance again if you ever climb back up to it again. You are looking like you're creating a falling wedge right now. Let's see what the oscillators are doing here. RSI, I'm trying to see if there's any bullish divergence. RSI 28.34 on October 11th. 29.41. Ooh, could be possible. Bullish divergence ever so slightly. Oh, where did my line go? Hey, I gotta do it again. But yeah, ever so slightly higher lows here on the RSI, while still creating lower lows on price. For those that are, familiar with technical analysis and divergences, that is a bullish divergence that could possibly be playing out, which means that buyers are stepping up to the plate here and trying to scoop up Pendle at these low prices here. Let's see what the MACD looks like. MACD, there was buying pressure here towards the end of October, but you're getting a little bit of selling pressure showing up here, but it's not as steep and significant as you saw back here in the middle and beginning of October here. You could get a little bit of red only for it to then go back to green, and that'd be nice to see for Pendle, right? Because I don't know if this thing could take any more of a beating than it's already had. And then on Market Cipher B, on the daily time frame, your last red dot came in on Sunday, November 2nd here, about a few days ago, saying that you're probably gonna have a few more bad days ahead of you. you're waiting for a green buy dot, and you know if the green buy dot shows up, it's going to be showing up right around near the oversold bars over here. These green horizontal bars. Last time you had an oversold, condition with a green buy dot was here on October 18th, and let's see, was that a good day to buy? Kinda, but not really. You didn't really get any follow through there. But you would think that now should be a good time to buy if you get that green buy dot showing up on the daily time frame on Market Cipher B. Because yeah, the green buy dot did show up here on October 18th, but you still had money flow money flow was coming out of this, but then it curved back up ever so slightly, and then started coming in here towards the end of October. You want to see something like that going forward here. You want to see money flow start curving back up again, and you want to see green. This barely showed any green here. There's barely money going into this asset back here in last week of October. You want to see more green. You want to see like green like this, green like that going forward here to get the prices to go up on you here. Alright, so that was a Pendle. Like I said, downside target, don't go lower than what you did here at $2.45. Don't go lower than that. You can put your stop loss right there, because if it goes lower than that, then something's still wrong with this asset. Targets to the upside, I would target 307 as a short-term take profit target, and then over the long term, I would try to take profit at that 200-day moving average sitting at 416. Yeah. All right, moving on. We'll take a look at gold. Let's look at the price of gold. It's on my watch list here. Gold currently trading at $3,974. And even gold's having a bad day as well. With all the fear in the markets, you would think like people would be fleeing towards gold, but they're selling their gold because they're probably trying to cover their margin on something else that's going wrong for them. So gold right now kind of hanging out near the golden pocket at 39.75. That's a 0.618 retracement level here. If it was to go a little bit lower, and it would only be a little bit lower in my opinion, but it could come down to that 0.5 retracement at 38.49. Did we ever go down that low? We came close to it here on October 28th. So October 28th, we kind of almost hit that 0.5 retracement. We could come back and retest that. If you're looking for cheaper gold, you could get some at like 3,800, 38.49 here is where I'd be aiming for some cheaper gold. But if you're in gold and you're looking for it to go to higher prices here on you, we do have a 0.786 retracement that I don't think we actually got up to. Did we actually get up to like 41.55 here? Alright, yeah, we did actually. Yeah, here on October 23rd and October 22nd, we had like a rejection off the 786 retracement here. But I would just be aiming for, let's see, I'd be aiming short term for 41.55 on gold. The risk reward ratio right here is not that good, 1.7. If you're gonna put your stop loss right below at like 38.80 here, you don't really have that much of a good risk reward ratio. But if you're short term day trading it, you probably want to put your stop loss right below the lows from yesterday. And now you got your risk reward ratio back at like 3 is what you want to see for a good trade here. So if you're day trading gold, I probably put the stop loss right at 39.20, and you're trying to take profit at 41.55 if you can. I'm not sure if that's going to happen in one day. It might have to end up being like a short-term swing trade here, but still, you could target that. You know, stop on some 10x leverage. You're only going to lose 14%. With 10x leverage, you're going to gain 42% if you get back up to that level there. And let's see, if we want to stick around for a longer term swing trade here and try to get gold back up to like 4,300 bucks, then your risk reward ratio becomes 6.7. It's a really good trade to get into there. With 10x leverage, you're risking 14%, but you're gonna gain 90%. You can basically almost double your money there. Alright, we got Mr. Singe in the chat here. He's asking, are we going into a bear market for Bitcoin? It seems like we're going into a bear market for Bitcoin. And my qualification for that is if Bitcoin's below the 200-day moving average, I call that a bear market until you get above the 200-day moving average, you know. You can have a short-term bear market where you go below the 200-day moving average for a few days and then get back up again, and you had a little mini bear market, in my opinion. But usually if you go below the 200-day moving average and you stay below it for a few weeks, few months, maybe even a year, that's your bear market in Bitcoin. Anytime you're below the 200-day moving average, that's my qualification. That's my qualification for any asset. Anytime you're below the 200-day moving average, you are in a bear market on that particular asset. Because it basically says that, you know, over the last 200 days, you can't even stay above the average. We'll take a look at Bitcoin real quick here, since you mentioned it. Where's my Bitcoin? There we go. 101,300. Yeah, so Bitcoin is below that red line. That red line is that 200-day moving average. You lost that red line on Monday here. You were trying to get above it. We lost it also last week as well on Thursday. And we lost it again here on October 17th. But yeah, you're playing with danger of being below that 200-day moving average. And it just takes in the average, the last 200 days. That's where the average is at. And you're below average. Anytime you're below the 200-day moving average, you're in a bear market, in my opinion. So get above it, and then we can say that we're not in a bear market anymore. But I would just be cautiously optimistic. Like right now, Bitcoin has to get to $110,000 to be at the 200-day moving average. That's still not good enough, because that means you're dragging ass, in my opinion. You got to get probably above the 50-day moving average for it to be, you know, a bull market. The 50-day moving average is sitting at 113,500 for Bitcoin. If you get above there, then I would say, all right, we're back to being bullish again on Bitcoin. You know, I'm no longer cautiously optimistic. I'm no longer concerned that we're in a bear market or about to be in a bear market, because if you're above the 50-day moving average, you're bullish. But right now, we're below all the moving averages on the daily time frame for Bitcoin, and that to me means we're in a bear market. We're below the 200-day moving average. We're in a bear market. I'm concerned about Bitcoin just like you are. Laureen says, bear market approaching. Yep. So now, I mean, these are where the tough decisions need to be made. I know some people were expecting Bitcoin to go to 200K, but how can you say we're going to 200K when we're about to drop below 100K, right? You know, probably that might happen later on today. We saw Bitcoin get as low as 100,200 earlier today. If we go below 100K, how do you justify that we're going to go to 200K on Bitcoin and have a crazy, bull market for Bitcoin? You can't. And now you have to start wondering, all right, are you going to sell your spot bags? Or are you going to stick it through? And if you stick it through, just know that some of these bear markets in Bitcoin can last like a year. So, it could be a whole year of pain for the next, 365 days ahead of us. We were playing around with, going below the 200-day moving average back here in March and April, and that wasn't fun when we saw Bitcoin go to 74K. And I was calling this a bear market earlier this year in my live streams. I was saying, all right, Bitcoin, I'm cautiously optimistic because we're at the 200-day moving average, and then we lost it. I'm like, all right, we're in a bear market. And then Bitcoin got the violent reaction off the 70K area. And then we were able to push through after Donald Trump took back his tariff threats. And once we got above the 20-day moving average, I was like, all right, I'm cautiously optimistic. And then when we got above the 50-day moving average, all right, I'm bullish on Bitcoin because we're above the green line now. Okay, that 50-day moving average. So yeah, when you're above the green line, you're in a bull market. When you're just above the red line, you're playing with danger. And when you're below the red line, that 200-day moving average, you're in a bear market, in my opinion. Yeah. Oh, wow. We got someone on TikTok named Damien as well, and he spells it the same way with a D-A-M-I-A-N here. And he's saying hello to me. Hello to you, Damien. Maureen says, not financial advice. Sell. We got a guy here on TikTok saying we're going to see Bitcoin go to 70K in the next 6 months. Possibly. It's really hard to predict what's going to happen 6 months from now. Let's see. 6 months ago, we were what? That was back in May. I mean, was anybody predicting in May that we were going to go to 120K? And we went to 120K like 2 months later. 120K Bitcoin. Were you predicting Bitcoin to go to 70K or 60K back in May and June? Because if you did, you know, 6 months later we still haven't hit 70K. So I just don't know. I can't really predict 6 months out. I can only predict maybe a few days, a few weeks from now, maybe a couple of months at the most. But I think, you know, people were, including myself, we were expecting Bitcoin to stay above the 200-day moving average, which we didn't. So it's very easy to say that Bitcoin's going to go lower prices when you're already at low prices, right? Not hard to do. When we're at high prices here, it's very easy for, you know, when we're at 120K, for people to say, oh, we're going to go to 150 or 160K. But I was still cautious about Bitcoin going to higher prices because, you know, we visited this high price level here in August and we lost it right away. And we came up here, we kind of hung out near 120K, but then we lost it. I really think, you know, Donald Trump did a disservice to a lot of people in crypto when he said 100% tariffs on China could be possible. That really sucked out a lot of liquidity, destroyed a lot of people's accounts that were day trading. And that look, we were never able to recover. I think that really took us down there. I mean, it also hurt the stock market as well, but the stock market was able to kind of bounce back up over the last couple of weeks here. Crypto hasn't really been able to do that. No, not really. All right, we got Lauren A in the chat. Good to see you, Lauren A. And Dave P thinks we will bounce up. I hope so. I'm trying to like remember like what it was like back in 2021. Okay. And when did I decide to get out of Bitcoin and crypto in 2021? Because I actually did, you know, sold my Ethereum in 2021. Back in like November and December, I sold near like $3,800. I didn't get the top, but going back to like 2021, right? I mean, if you want to look at history here, you know, Bitcoin topped out at what, $69,000 November 10th here. And then we slowly started making lower lows, lower highs. We lost the 200-day moving average for the first time on December 4th of 2021. Then we came back. We were flirting with the 200-day moving average, kind of like what we're doing right now. And then we lost the 200-day moving average again here on December 29th. And then we never were able to gain back, you know. And then people are like, oh, we'll bounce back. We'll bounce back. We'll get above the 200-day moving average. And we never did. Now we're in like February of 2022. We're still below the 200-day moving average. And then we tried to do a good fight here in March, where we got up to the 200-day moving average on March of 2022. But then we got rejected. Okay. And this should have been a signal like, hey, you should probably get the hell out of crypto if you haven't done so already. Like March of 2022, this was it right here. That, you know, that when we lost that 200-day moving average, and you had a few more days where you kind of played around with it, and that was your opportunity to get out of Bitcoin and crypto one more time here before you came down, making low highs. And at that point, then the 50-day moving average was like, can you at least get back up to the 50-day? You know, the green line. And then here we're out here just trading sideways, making a bear flag, giving the bears an opportunity to leverage up on their shorts, and then they send us down to lower prices here. And this was your bear market, you know, being below the 200-day moving average and also below the 50-day moving average. And then the 21 EMA was now acting as a bully and pushing you down. And it's like, can we even get back up to the 21 EMA? Like back here in June of 2022, could you even get back up to the 21 EMA as Bitcoin's at like 20K here? That was the next fight. Okay. And then here we are. Oh, we're back at the 50-day moving average, but it acts as resistance. And the 50-day moving average is acting as resistance all throughout the end of 2022. Then you get into November 2022 and you get the FTX bankruptcy that sends you down one more time. And then I think people were totally defeated and thinking Bitcoin was going back to $10,000 or less. And then when people were totally defeated, that was the end of the bear market. And then we kind of went sideways. The bulls were starting to build up their positions here, going into like December 2022. And then January 2023, that's when we had a new hope. You know, you have to realize towards the end of a calendar year, between like November and December, people start selling their crypto, whether they're in profit or at a loss. Just to, I mean, if they're in profit, they're taking their profits. But if they're at a loss, sometimes people want to take that loss just to, let me turn the music down. Some people want to take a loss on their crypto towards the end of the year, so that way they don't have to pay that much taxes for their tax bill. At least here in the United States, that's what some people do. They call it tax loss harvesting. So that kind of suppressed the price of Bitcoin back here in the end of 2022. And then once people were done taking their losses and you know, to use against their taxes, then in January 2023 is when we started catching some bids here. Right? And that was the beginning of a new bull market for crypto. Once we got above that 2-day moving average for the first time here in January 2023, that was the start of the bull market that we're in right now. And then of course you got a retest on the 200-day moving average on March of 2023. And that was your signal that yes, we are now in a bull market. And then look how fast we went up. Once we retested the 200-day moving average as support, we were able to shoot up from March of 2023 going into higher prices in April of 2023. And that's what you got. So like this 200-day moving average is pretty damn important, and that's why I'm very concerned with where we're at right now with Bitcoin. We need to do a V-shaped recovery, kind of like we did in the end of October here. It just wasn't good enough because we needed to actually stay above the 50-day moving average, and we didn't. But I don't know, guys. I mean, I think the positive catalyst could be that if the government reopens again, people will be less fearful, and maybe we get that V-shaped recovery, money going back into the markets again here. That's what I think we need to see right now, because we had an interest rate cut, and we had like a CPI report that wasn't that bad. And we got jobs numbers that came in yesterday that were fine. It wasn't a recession, and none of that information was good enough for the markets, for crypto or stocks to get a rally here. So the only thing I can think of is if we get rid of the government shutdown, maybe that's what we need to actually see a V-shaped recovery and get the hell out of here. Alright, we got 5,200 likes here on TikTok. Thank you guys for getting me up to that level there. Keep on hitting that like button if you can. Let's see if we can get 6,000 likes on TikTok. And then for my YouTube guys, I see you guys are hanging on there. We got more likes than we got people watching. That's good to see. Let's keep up that good work right there. Dave says he has to run. I'm thinking I might have to run too myself. Literally run. I'm going to try to go to the gym and do some running. They got to pull up my gym, so I'll probably do some swimming as well. And yeah, try to get some good exercise in. Get my mind off of crypto. But I am thinking about taking some of my Solana and putting it on the crypto exchange and maybe selling some Solana. I don't want to sell at these low prices, but this is what the market's doing to me right now. I might have to sell some Solana just to say that I was able to sell at $157 rather than selling it at $120 or less. I do not want to do that, but things are not looking good right now for crypto. I will admit that. And as far as like Bitcoin goes, you know, we could possibly, if we lose 100K, looks like 94K is coming up on that. Let's see, who else is in the chat here? Lorraine said, is Bitcoin taking a jump up again? You see some green, 2 devils. Yeah, that should be Cameron from the Discord. Cameron, he shows up on TikTok. I haven't seen Cameron show up on YouTube. But yeah, I know Cameron's on TikTok, and yeah, he is here. It's good to see Cameron in chat as well. Let me catch up on Discord. What have you guys been saying on Discord? So this is the Meet Damien Discord. If you guys want to come and join, ooh, what the? Somebody posted up another link here for another crypto YouTuber here, but I have posted up when I go live. So if you guys wondering when I will go live, I usually try to post it up here on the Meet Damien server here. And yeah, I mean, we can talk about crypto and keep the conversation going on the Meet Damien server here on Discord. What is this? Someone said that someone collapsed during a speech. What? Canada says too many oldies. Is Trump speaking today? Okay, yeah. I'm gonna have to catch up on that. But yeah, this is how we stay in touch here on Discord. Link is in the bio to my TikTok channel. Let's see, if I go to my TikTok channel, you can see that the link's right there for the Discord. And on YouTube, the link should be in my links here. You click on if you go to the Meet Damien YouTube channel. And once again, thank you guys for helping me get up to like 500 subscribers here on YouTube. I did celebrate that milestone yesterday. Good to see that. We're gonna try to see if we can get up to 1,000 subscribers in due time here. But there's a Meet Damien Discord link here to join us here on Discord, and that's on the description to the channel, and it should be also be in the description to this video that you're watching right now. So this is how we stay in touch, and then, you know, come check me out on YouTube here, where you can see where I go live. I'm going live right now. There's some of my previous live streams here. And if you don't have that much time, but you want to stay in touch with crypto and stocks here, then I actually do YouTube shorts here. I did my most recent YouTube short was how to trade crypto futures on Coinbase Exchange. It's getting some views over here. I did do a video here on Amazon earnings, and we talked about CoAI and XRP, Netflix earnings, Tesla's earnings. Talked about the price of silver and gold as well. And I also put some monster truck videos in there just for fun. But yeah, you guys can come join me here on the Meet Damien YouTube channel. And then, of course, come join me here on the Meet Damien TikTok and follow me here. See some of my videos here. I have pinned some videos here, like how to use the Fibonacci, and then how to use and trade the VRVP indicator, and then a basic video like how to trade candlestick charts for the people who are just getting started here on their trading journey and want to learn about the stochastic RSI, the MACD indicator, and the regular RSI indicator. This is a good video that I pinned. I pinned all 3 of those videos here on TikTok for you guys to learn as much as you can. And of course, there's my Amazon videos, XRP, CoAI videos. You can see all that here on the Meet Damien TikTok channel here. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Harsh Singh is saying, why crypto going down again? Harsh, we're trying to figure that out right now because it's not just crypto. Even the price of gold and silver's down, oil's down, and the stock market's down. So it's not just crypto. Like the S&P 500 is down 0.9, almost down 1% today. The Nasdaq is down 1.55% today. I think the markets are still anxious about the government shutdown in the United States here, because it is, you know, this is the longest government shutdown we've ever had, and it is going to cause some damage to the economy. We just don't know how much damage it's causing. But at this point, I think people are worried about the government shutdown continuing on with no end in sight. That is what's bringing the markets down. And it's not, like I said, it's not just crypto, but also gold is going down and oil's going down. So like everybody's losing money right now, and that gives me that leads me to believe that there's some margin calls going on and there's a liquidity crisis. If people are forced to sell their gold and forced to sell like their winning positions to cover their losing positions, then that means there's a liquidity crisis. Everybody's over leveraged, and it's just going to take some time to work its way through the system here. And thank you for subscribing here, Harsh Sign. I appreciate that. Let me see. Let me see if YouTube, if you, right now I had 501 subscribers. Let me go ahead and see if you're the 502nd subscriber here. Oh, we actually got a couple more subscribers here on YouTube. So I got 503 subscribers here. Thank you guys for subscribing to the Meet Damien YouTube channel. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm also trying to get more people watching so I can get monetized here on YouTube. And then you guys can, you know, help me out by sending super chats my way. That would be greatly appreciated if you guys do that, but you can't because I don't have enough subscribers yet for that. So that's fine. It's all right. I'm still here giving you that free TA as much as I can. But I do expect that as this channel starts to grow and I become a little bit more busier, it's going to be hard for me to go through all the requests. And if you guys want me to get to your requests right away before you have to go, then yeah, that's where the super chat will come into play. And I will definitely take care of the super chats first before I look at the other cryptos and stocks here. I appreciate you as well, Harsinch. Thank you. But yeah, I think I'm going to end this live stream. I think it was a good, decent live stream, but I would like to have some more time for myself so I can actually hit the gym, think about what I'm going to do on my spot bags here in crypto, and yeah, just maybe I'll get into another day trade here. I see Steve Hickey's in the chat. I don't know what happened with Trump's message, Steve. But I think someone fell down during the meeting, and that's now making the news now. Trav says, same thing happened in January. We pushed to 109K, then dropped down to 75, and then back to new all-time highs. Yeah, I just don't know if I want to stick around to see Bitcoin drop to 75K. I'm probably going to sell before we get to that point. Yeah, because I could always buy back in at 75K, right? If I sell now and buy back at 75, that's avoiding a 25% loss. I see Mozart Legend has joined on TikTok here. Oh man, it's good to see you guys here, but I am thinking about ending the live stream here. Trav says they want you to sell your bags. Probably. But it's not just crypto. The stock market's down as well. And we were looking at the price of oil. Price of oil was down. And then gold and silver was down. But right now, gold is barely up. Barely. 0.03%. It was down in the red earlier. During this, about an hour ago on my live stream, it was in the red. Only crypto on my watch list that's in the green right now is Dash. There's some other ones that are in the green. I think ICP is also in the green as well. And then there was like a crazy one. Was it Sapien or Pendle? Sapien was in the green. Having a good day. Look at this crypto, huh? Up 270%. Almost everybody that bought it this year is in profit now. So that's an interesting one to probably study up and do some research on. I wouldn't say just buy it just yet. I'll probably wait for this thing to retrace down to the 0.5 retracement or the 0.32, you know, like 30 or 35 pennies here, but this one is definitely catching people's attention right now. Yeah, Steve, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go hit the gym. Try to take my mind off of crypto. But I probably am going to transfer some of my Solana off of my cold storage wallet and try to sell it before things get worse here. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but I had to make that tough choice 4 years ago when Ethereum was, you know, at $4,800 and it dropped down to $3,800. I had to make the tough choice to sell my Ethereum at $3,800 when everybody was thinking it was going to go to 10,000 bucks, right? When it was at like 4,800 bucks, we were like, oh, 5,000, sure enough, and then 10 grand after that. But I had to make the tough choice to sell at 3,800, and it never came back after that. So I don't know. Some tough choices need to be made. As people start figuring out what they're going to do with their profits, what they're going to do with their spot bags. We're all figuring that out as of now here. But just ending off here on Bitcoin one last time. Bitcoin at $101,000, staying above the psychological target of 100K. But if Bitcoin is not able to stay above 100K, which is that 0.5 retracement, then I think we're going to come down to the 0.32 at 94K. 94K is confluent with what we were trading at back here in May. So you would think people are in May and June are not going to sell unless we go below 94K. So that's your next support zone to the downside. To the upside, I would love to see Bitcoin get above the 2-day moving average on 110K. But I don't think that's good enough. I want to see Bitcoin get up to above the 50-day moving average at 113,500. That would make me feel better about Bitcoin in general. Also, I think everybody will feel better if the government would actually open up here in the United States instead of doing this crazy political fiasco. I think that's what's dragging down the markets here and creating a lot of fear and anxiety for a lot of people here. So, yep, that's going to be it here for the Meet Damien live stream here, guys. Be on the lookout for my next one. I'll try to go live tomorrow, same time, 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern time. It might be a short one if there's not that many requests. I get it. When people are losing money, they don't want to look at their portfolios. But for the ones that are looking at their portfolios and trying to manage money, I will be here to help you guys out, figure things out here tomorrow, around the same time tomorrow, okay? Take care, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time. Take care, guys.